Hi, hello, good evening, and good day, whatever it is, wherever you are. This is Strat Chat, and we are discussing week two in the Australian Survivor universe. Lots going on. Obviously, first headline Kelly, what the hell are you doing? I hate it and I
Oh
love it
boy.
and I can't wait to discuss it. It's going to be so much fun. We actually saw the seeds being planted for the Kirby v Feras rivalry, and that's going to be really exciting to see how that one unfolds. And yeah, lots of stuff to get into, including the exit of Mr. Tobias with his this that I can't fucking stand. So see you later, sir. Yeah, let's do it. Let's not waste any more time. Let's do it. I am Kyle Petty, and I am joined, as always, by my festy besties, John Dunphy and Gina Morgino. And this is Strat Chat, arguably your favorite reality TV podcast. You can find us on all the socials, including Blue Sky, even though we don't post there, at Strat Chat Pod. Also, find us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts and all those things. John is always talking on the other streams how you need to be leaving us reviews, and I'm not understanding why you're not. Although you can miss us with your 1 stars. We want 5 stars in these reviews. Make sure the algorithm hits us correct.
Say nice things because we're nice people.
Right, come on, do nice things for good people. Hey Liz, welcome back to the chat. Yeah, Liz is already kicking this thing off. Not to Tobias L. Damn right, because Tobias took one this week, and we can't wait to discuss it.
L for love.
Yeah, L for loser. Loser. Where does that come from? That's from something. Ace Ventura. I'm dating myself. That's not from Ace Ventura, Pet Detective.
I mean, maybe it is too. I don't know. I have not.
Yeah, I feel like Kyle is correct.
Ooh, I was hoping so. I was like, y'all.
I also know
like, oh, look at this 40-year-old.
Okay. I'm not familiar with the Ace Venturas. I'm bad at watching movies. I have not seen her.
She's trying to call her old. All right, so we learned our ABCs.
Wait, hold on.
The way of Eileen.
You've never seen Ace Ventura: Pet Detective?
If there is one thing we should have known in our almost 20 years of friendship, it's that I've never seen a movie in my life. I don't watch movies at all.
Unacceptable.
You're really weird. Really weird. What's up, Feras? Yeah!
Feras, thank God. Ooh, 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 ooh. Certainly my Arabian Prince. Lots to get into here. Yeah, we love Feras. How do we kick this sucker off? Right, because you kind of threw me off my little thing here.
Oh, deepest apologies.
Aileen kind of taught us the alphabet this week, right? A is for Alex and B is for Blindside. I was hoping she was going to give us a C, but she did not. Really, lots of fun here. And I'm really sorry that Eileen's plan did not come to fruition. Although I do enjoy the chaos that Kelly brings to us. Right. So how did the first episode? Yeah, she is wild and like definitely going to get there. Oh, yeah. So Sunday's episode really started with Miss Caroline. Oh, she was kind of pissing me off, huh? I kind of like just following around on 2 V's, Valeria and Viola. Every single conversation they wanted to be a part of, Caroline was like, I'm here. What y'all talking about? And I was like, get out of here, Caroline.
Yeah, it's definitely too much.
Right? It was definitely too much. And I'm surprised. I have to give it to these two ladies because I would have said something. Like, can you just hit
Can
the
you go
bricks?
away, please?
Right? Like get out of here. Like, what the hell is going on?
Like, stop following me around. Like, what is wrong with you?
Right. Like super, super annoying. So yeah. But she was really doing this because she was so super concerned with Valeria and Viola regarding their relationship with Mark. So she thought she should keep an eye on them. As annoying as she wasn't wrong, right? Like, she has a reason to be concerned here because, like, Mark does say that he's got a good relationship with the two V's, as they've become known.
Right.
So,
Yeah,
I
no,
mean,
you're
there's
not
that.
wrong.
Yeah.
Like, you're not wrong because she's not wrong to be concerned. Like, it's a good read on her part. She's just not very good at that part of the game where she's like, all right, I need to keep an eye on this, so I will naturally find ways to be around them and make sure that I'm being excluded
Right.
from their conversations. She just makes it super awkward by just following them anywhere they go at any moment in the most annoying and obvious way
Exactly.
possible.
I will literally keep an eye on you by keeping an eye on
The execution leaves a lot to be desired.
Right, yeah. Oh gosh. But yeah, that was that. And I was like, oh my gosh, Caroline is like, stop embarrassing me and my team petty. And then I realized I didn't get her. And I was like,
Yeah.
whatever.
She's one of mine.
Carry on, Caroline.
Yeah, sure. Because if it makes me look bad, then fine. That's totally acceptable.
Well, listen, don't make it about you. I just was happy it wasn't about me.
It wasn't yours, right?
Exactly.
Right.
I don't really care whose it is as long as it's not mine. Excuse me, why is our logo gone? Hold on. Somebody put that back. Right? Like, what is that? It's a mess. Over here, like, all messed up. Yikes. All right, any hoosers. Right? God, come on. It's cost enough money. What else before the reward challenge? I guess that's the end of this. The reward challenge was kind of exciting. This is when you had to like race to go ring the bell, and you had these people, these big cushions, aka pillows, and you can only hit them with that. Very fun to watch. The person won what we call a charcuterie board. JLP kept referring to this as a grazing plate.
I have heard that. I have heard that.
I'm going to be using it because people usually like when I use phrases that are off the beaten path. So I'm like, oh my gosh, a grazing plate. They're like, what are you talking about, Kyle? So I use it for that reason, but that's about it. On the rewatch of this episode 4, though, especially because now we know how this whole thing kind of played out with Kelli and her rogue vote, really bringing the chaos Kelli, as I like to refer. I made a comment before we even got to the reward challenge. He's like, I want to make sure that I'm kind of like building some new relationships here and making sure that people see me as a person they can work with because I don't want to be blindsided again. And I thought that was interesting to note because it seemingly worked on the person that he was very vocal about getting out. And I don't think that should be overlooked. Certainly something to keep an eye on with Alex because, maybe he's not as much of an idiot as we thought he was based on his first week of playing the game. So let's keep an eye on that. Let's keep an eye on that. I would like to toot my own horn. All right, so toot, because Garrick actually came right out of the gate, went right up to Kirby and was like, Miss Ma'am, I can count. I already know you did something shady last week. And I had said, I really felt that Kirby was kind of like playing a little bit too hard, a little bit too soon with trying to play these votes back and forth. Because again, if you're not making that foundation of trust early on in the game, like no one's really going to trust working with you. I'm surprised that Rihanna is even interested in this. Like, why are you interested in being so closely aligned with somebody who has literally lied to everyone? How can you be so sure that she's not lying to you?
Right.
So there's that there. I would have a lot of pause in moving forward with the Lady Kirby.
Yeah, no, I totally agree about that. And I also, just on your point about Garrick and being observant and counting and the votes and everything, I really like Garrick more than I even anticipated I would. I really like Garrick. Yeah.
I like Garrick a lot, and I actually liked him even more with how upfront and like blunt he was being about his distaste for Kelly. Because this man gave 0 fucks.
Oh,
like saying
no.
like, she's gotta go, she's gotta go. She's like, well, the bridge is what it is. And he's like, whatever, she's gotta get out of here. And I'm like, she's standing right in front of you. I'm telling you, like, Garrick is a thug, and I am here for all of it. Like, it's so much fun. But yeah, so that's interesting, and I like that he went right up to her. There was somebody sitting next to Kirby during this exchange, and I forget who it was. Was it Scott?
I think it was Scott. Yeah, I'm pretty
Scott's
sure.
a little forgettable. Scott's a little forgettable, which no, I don't necessarily think that that's like a really a bad thing. If he hasn't been factored into the edit much, that kind of means that he's not really making a lot of waves, and that's usually somebody that we end up seeing.
The dark horse later, yeah.
Yeah, so like another person to keep an eye on, like, yeah, no, not really shading Scott at all. I think it's just important to note. So the grazing plate, yeah, to push people off the cushions, blah, 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 blah. Rebels won. So Feras has the key to open this box, and this is another area where I was really nervous for him, because he finds the idol. Obviously, everybody else is kind of right on his tail there. I wanted to say tail, I wanted to say heels. Teal. So sorry.
I liked it.
Oh,
right on the teal. No, that's good.
Right on the teal. On the teal end. No. So it came with the idol, and it came with a key that was supposed to now go back to the Titans camp, and would be able to open up their box. It would have been kind of interesting to see how this key passing would have played out if we got to see it, but I guess we'll get there when we get there. But I don't know if this edit gave us any favors here, because now once we're back at camp and Feras is now reading what the note was, and like, yes, get with it, Feras. Yes, come on. We like to hyphenate for the people that we stan. And you, sir, claimed you as mine.
Feras.
Yeah, Feras, you. So I thought it was interesting that Feras was honestly just standing there with this note folded and was like reading to everybody else. And it's like, are you not catching that he's not reading the entire thing to you? And it's like, what is this? Like, no one really like addressed that. They're like, did that strike you as odd? I mean, obviously, like Kirby was like, I feel like you're not telling us the whole story. Alex is like, but nobody really.
This whole thing was just stressful to me. Like, as soon as he got caught with it, I was like, no! Like, there's just no good way to recover from this.
Right. I didn't even.
He did the best he could, like with what he had, but it's like it like made me want to rip my skin off. I was so uncomfortable.
And I thought he did well. I actually didn't even catch. I thought he did read the whole thing.
I did too. I didn't notice that he like omitted anything, but like.
No, he omitted the entire part that he had the idol. And
was
like,
that in the note though?
I don't think it was. No, I think I thought all it said was, by finding this, you've gained power in the game, but to have even more power, hand this key to someone in the tribe.
Because he was like, I heard you say that like you have found a power, but to gain more power, this. So he clocked that and was like, oh, so you have something then already. I
could have sworn that he read in the beginning part of this when he first found it, that like, you have found this hidden immunity idol and blah 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 blah.
Maybe I don't remember.
And I feel like
it's possible. Yeah, I just don't remember.
Over and like just read the second half. I'm like, why is everyone accepting this? Like, he's in front of you with it folded.
Right,
like,
I feel like usually in those situations they're like, pass it around, man. Let's
I'd be like, well, what's on the other half of that? What's on the other side? What's on the other side? Like, why is it?
Let me read it for myself.
Right. Oh no, Feras said John is on the money, so I guess it didn't say it. All right, so the hell with me and my poor observations.
I mean, to be fair, typically when you find an idol, you get a note that says congratulations on finding an idol. So a fair mix up.
All right, well, thanks for sticking up for me. I didn't deserve it, but I'll take it. Thank you. So Feras walks off with Alex, now trying to convince him that he did not see what he saw, but also now acknowledged that everyone knows that they're lying. This is definitely like a Friends moment. Like, if you know, they know.
Yes.
And it's like, I was like, this is literally the first half of this. Like, I know that I'm lying, and that I have something else, but that's all right. No one's going to acknowledge it. Yeah, exactly. I'm just gonna leave that one there.
Yep.
That was fun. The immunity challenge now was this dodgeball thing, which okay. This is the beginning of me not being so enthused with Mr. Jaden. Okay, because there is, yeah,
Oh.
I want to like him, but I also feel like he is up here with Tobias's L that I really, really can't stand. I feel like Jaden is also like very I don't know. Anytime they were like, "Yeah, no, 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 no," and it's like, don't have to rub it in their face. Like it's giving me sorry vibes. You know, like when you send somebody back to start and they're like, sorry. I'm
Oh.
like, don't fucking taunt me. You're not
Like,
sorry.
no, you're not.
Like, exactly. You're not sorry. And it's like, don't taunt me right in my fucking face. Like, I think it's rude. And he was like mushing people in the face. Did you notice that? Like in the water, he's like mushing them. And like, don't touch my face. Like, I don't care how physical this challenge is. Like, don't put your hand on my face. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, he's a little
sorry.
much. He's a little much.
The usage of the term "mushing them in the face."
Well, that's what you call it, right? Because he didn't hit them.
Mushing.
It's a mush. Well, what else do you call it? Right?
I
Come
would
on
call it
now.
a mush. Yeah, I
Yeah,
would
you
call it a
mushed him.
mush. Yeah.
You I
Okay.
mushed you. I mushed you.
Don't
Yeah.
don't mush me. Don't mush me.
Hey, how dare you? Don't you dare mush me. No, that's an official term. That's not a Kyleism.
Yeah.
It was mushing people, and I didn't like it. But obviously they won. I mean, this is really a pathetic attempt. And I will say that Rihanna, the hit that she took in the head, with that one ball, that did not make me feel very good. I'll see Liz. Yeah. Yes. You mushed Garrick. You mushed him.
Yeah. Now was Rihanna also the one though for the Rebels? Because the Rebels at one point were like one shot away from winning this challenge, this immunity challenge, right? Or whatever it was, reward immunity. I don't even remember, but the
This is
dodgeball one.
immunity.
This was immunity.
Yeah.
It was immunity. Okay.
Mhm.
I think it was Rihanna that had a shot. She had the ball. All she had to do was hit the person. I think it was Eden and somebody else, and Eden was already sitting out. Like he had already been hit. And all
God.
Rihanna had to do was throw the ball at the right person, and she hit Eden again instead, even though he was already out. And then the Titans ended up winning the round, and then the next round after that. And it was like, Rihanna, what are you doing?
What are you doing? And I'm sure Eden was sitting there like, yo, what's your problem?
Yeah, he's like, I'm
Why
sitting
you hit
down.
me again? I'm down. I'm done. I'm done. Leave me alone, girl.
Leave me be.
Leave me be. That is what my little brother used to say when I used to like tease him and like taunt him when we were kids. It's like, leave me be.
Leave me
Like,
be.
God, that's so hysterical to me. So there's that. So obviously, so the Rebels lose. And this is really where Tobias began his spiral. Right, because here goes Tobias. Like, I don't need to have conversations with nobody. I'm mad comfortable. Okay, I do a lot of stuff in camp. I'm a very strong, challenge competitor. Ain't nobody coming for me. Was the writing on the wall right then for you? Because I was like, he's out of here.
Yeah, when I saw it in the edit, like the way that he was talking, how confident he was like, he's obviously going home.
Like, oh,
like,
you're
this.
pulling the shenanigans. You're trying to
You're
make him
pulling
look
your
stupid.
Like the minute that you literally say, like, I don't need to have any conversations. I'm super confident. I know I'm not going anywhere. Like, all right, well now you are literally going home. Like, it's not even like it's not even like your name is going to be thrown out there. It's going to be a close vote. It's like, no, you are now going home. That's it.
Right.
It's done. Your fate is sealed. It's over. Tobias has already left. We don't even have to watch the next 30 minutes of this episode. Tobias has already been evicted.
Right to tribal and like, right, exactly. Okay. But if you had done so, you would have missed Eileen's big plan, right? So Eileen wanted to see this vote go a very, very specific way, having 4 votes going on Tobias, 4 votes going on Alex, forcing Miss Sarah to now make a decision of who of the Cuddle crew she wanted to eliminate. And the plan was so perfect that you just knew it wasn't going to go the way that it was going to go. And this is where we saw, Eileen like really coaching Kelly, like, listen, hello, every
Oh
single time,
gosh.
just
Look
vote
at
Alex,
me when I'm
vote Alex.
talking
Yes,
to
hello,
you.
hello. This is where it really came out. A is for Alex, B is for
Oh
Blindside. Like
god.
this is what we're doing.
She's like, hey,
Um,
hi, hello, look at me, look at me. It's like, oh, oh no,
and
oh
yes,
god.
and even as she was explaining to it, I feel like Kelly was just like, huh, yeah, huh. And I was like, I already knew this is not gonna be
Oh
it. Like,
god.
I don't know how this is gonna fall apart, but like it's definitely not gonna go as
I know. I was
intended.
like, we're really hinging this plan on Kelly right now. That's what we're choosing to do.
But I love it. I love what
Ugh.
Kelly is doing for this show. Kelly is absolute fucking chaos, and she's so much fun. She's so much fun. So that obviously is not what.
No, like, because listen, like, I don't want to insult I don't want to insult Carolyn, but like Kelly reminds me of like a much lesser version of Carolyn from our U.S. Survivor. Like just
It's
wacky
not
it
an
out
insult because you already
there.
said lesser. So
Right.
anything, we're
You know
sorry
what
to Kelly.
You know what I'm saying though? Like when you think
Yeah.
about like
Yeah,
Mhm.
for
Carolyn and Kelly, but Kelly
Just
is like
kooky
the
and
poor
crazy,
man's
just a little
version.
offbeat.
Uh-huh.
Oof,
Yeah.
the poor man's version. Oof.
Except like the difference is Carolyn knew what she was doing. Like she was like, I'm gonna be extra kooky and then they'll underestimate me. I think Kelly just is this way.
But
Well, I
see
think
that's the thing. Like Kelly, like she operates like with a purpose. Like I feel like the whole tribe probably believes that she just messed up the Alex and Tobias vote. It was supposed to be 4-4. Kelly was supposed to vote for Alex. She voted for Tobias instead. She's just such an airhead that like she messed it up. But we find out in confessionals that Kelly says, I voted Tobias out because I know everyone wanted me to vote Alex out, but I think I can work with Alex more than I can work with Tobias. So it's not like she's just like this weird, wild,
right.
kooky person that's doing whatever and has no idea what's happening. Like she is actively planning these moves in her head.
Right. She
So
is
yeah,
thinking these things out. And whether it was the right decision or not, she still thought that was the best decision for her then. It's not that she bungled the plan. She never intended to follow it. And I think that's interesting when you're now thinking about what Alex's game is and how we kicked off this episode saying that, I want to make people believe that they can work with me because I don't want to get blindsided again. And this is the person who you are pretty vocal about wanting to go.
Right.
And she still thought there could be some kind of a path forward with you.
That was the thing that because even
That's
like
interesting to me.
like when she was asked, like, oh, well, what was the benefit to you of doing this? She literally couldn't answer. She was like, no, I just thought that's just what I wanted to do. And it's like, yeah, but how does it help your game to keep Alex? Like, I don't know if she's thinking ahead enough.
Or did she just not want to share in that moment? I will say they did have a rough conversation, I think, going into the next episode, where I guess that would be episode 5, right? Where like he was like, what was that? Like, why did you do that?
No,
And
that's what
like,
I'm talking about. Yeah.
oh, yeah. And it's like, it'll be interesting to see how that plays out though, because like whether or not you want to honor it, like it is still a bargaining point. So if you get to a point where your back is up against a wall and you feel like Kelly could be a number for you, you might at least have a little bit of trust in her to at least now know that she's going to make decisions that are just really well serving her game instead of just following the crowd. So like, I still kind of don't know that was like a bad move. I guess we'll have to see how it goes. But like, even if Alex is not necessarily ready to pay on it now, a number is a number and a vote is a vote. So you really can't devalue that. And if this person kind of worked in your favor the last time, is she the worst choice of people to trust if you need someone later?
yeah.
Maybe. But yeah, so I guess like that's really 4 going into 5. So Tobias went home. You were really because of Chaotic Kelly.
Chaotic Kelly
Pushed that to a 5-3. So that was the end of Mr. Toby.
but not before the idol reveal. Was that this episode or the next episode?
Oh shoot! Yes. See, there's so much going on.
That was
Right.
such a gorgeous moment.
And I'm so disappointed in myself for having overlooked that. I'm so obsessed with Chaotic Kelly. But yes, we didn't even, no one else really there knew that he had this idol other than Garrick. Um, and then removing the clothing to
It was
now
the, oh god,
reveal it.
it's so, anybody
So
else really
it's
warm? It's really warm in here. I was like, oh god.
and there was the idol, and it's like, well, I'm so happy you played it in that moment because well, it also is interesting to know, like, what if you didn't? He still would have been fine.
Right, that's the thing.
Right.
Like it was a great moment. It was very entertaining to watch him, especially how he presented it. Like,
Mhm.
taking the shirt off, being like, "Oh, it's so hot," just having the idol on. Like, but there's definitely a part. Like, it was great TV. I enjoyed watching it, but I also, there's a small part of me that feels like, man, I wish he still had that idol in his pocket. Like, I understand why he played it, but like,
I feel like from what
knowing
I
all the
see, like,
information, he didn't really need to play it. It would be awesome if he had another idol in his pocket right now. That's all.
granted, it's only like this season and the previous season that I really know of, like, Australian Survivor, but they treat idols so differently than we do. Like, I feel like you have an idol, you play it. You get an idol, you play it that night. Like, there's not so much like saving idols for later. And I feel like it's almost like a power move to have an idol more so than like a safety to keep it. You know what I mean?
Mm.
I
Yeah,
do
because you
feel
can
like
use it in conversation as a bluff. Like it
right,
definitely
right.
is. Yeah, it holds a different weight, and
I do
I
feel
feel like
like
that's the weight it was always intended to have.
Mm.
America
right,
fucked
right.
Survivor up by all these extra tribes and all this stuff, and like these
Yeah.
smaller groups.
Yeah. I do feel like this season has been pretty tumultuous though. Like this particular season of Australian Survivor, like we've seen 2 idols get used already. Is that, and I
Yes.
know there's
No.
we saw Ferris use one. I thought there was one other one that was used, but
Didn't
maybe I'm
someone
wrong.
get sent home with one that didn't? Oh no, it was
Yeah,
PETA.
Peter went home. Yeah, she went
PETA went
home with
home
Peeta
with
one.
an
went home.
idol.
She didn't use it. No one else used one though. For some reason, I thought someone else used it, but I could
I
be
don't
totally wrong.
think
I mean,
so.
somebody could have. I mean, there's been so much that's been going on. I feel like no, though. Keeping an eye on the chat. I feel like we're about to get corrected.
I'm looking at my list of people like who could have had an idol.
Well, I mean, then I would even argue then that maybe it's not like they're just being found and used because Winna has had one for at least a couple episodes.
Right.
I forgot about that one.
I forgot about
Ferris
that one too.
has another one now, but I mean, obviously he hasn't had a chance to use it, but because they haven't been to tribal since he found it. But
The thing is, though, I also, if I were him, I actually would have played it in that moment.
yeah, I think it was still the right move because I feel like he was definitely still in some danger, but it would just be nice if he didn't have to. That's all.
Yeah. And I think that he was in danger too, because even just from a trust point of view, it almost like can be one of those forgotten things, because people already didn't really believe that all he found was this key for the other camp. Like there already was an air of disbelief around that whole thing. So by using it right away, it almost makes it like, well, that happened a few days ago. I barely even remember that because it didn't carry over like
Right.
overnight or anything like that. Like it
Mhm.
just it happened, and like now we move on. Because there's other things to focus on. Like Chaotic Kelly. Because now going into episode 5 here, this is where things got pretty interesting for me. I mean, right. The episode started with Sarah obviously being very, very upset that her cuddle buddy Tobias
Mhm.
was now eliminated, evicted, torch snuffed, however you want to say it here. And Kelly's conversation with her on the seashore was just way too much for me.
I forgot about this.
Yes, talking about this kind of grief is just a ripple in the sea of our life's adversity. I'm like, what is all of this? Listen, she just met the man last week. Yes, she's upset because it's her birthday, and now she's not going to get that birthday sex, right? So, like, of course she's a little miffed, but like, it ain't all that. She's not going to be thinking about this man 6 months from now, except for
Right.
the fact that now it's airing. But otherwise, just a memory. Calm down, Kelly. Like ridiculous. And it felt cringy to me also that she was fessing up to this. Even if people knew it, you could have still kept your mouth shut. And I'm not so sure
Yeah,
that
she didn't
Sarah would
even
have known.
try to hide it. Right from the get, she was like, "I did it. I did it. It was me.
Right.
I did
And
that."
it's like Sarah is one of the people you could have lied to about this, because Sarah was never in on the plan to split it between Alex and Toby in the first place. You know, Sarah voted for Feras. So all this honesty and all this, you know, psychology and positive things, like, oh, sit down.
I know, but I feel like this is part of Kelly's strategy somehow. She thinks it's good for her game to be like,
Yeah, I think
I'm
she
just gonna
thinks it
own up
is
to it.
too. I just don't know if it is. But I guess it'll be interesting. Now, this was the beginning. So Feras had a conversation with Kirby in the water about how they could probably do some damage together if they work together. And I definitely thought that that's where this was headed. I thought that maybe we were going to see like a power duo here between Feras and Kirby. Obviously, that is not how things turned out. But first, you know, we saw at the Titans camp, we had everyone speculating about this treasure box that Feras had mentioned from the episode prior, of the challenge prior. And some thought that he kind of just made this up just to kind of mess with them. But like Mark took it pretty seriously, and he started looking around camp with the 2 Vs to try and go find it. Now, when Mark eventually did find this thing, you know, yes, he saw it and he kind of hit it. But once it became a little bit more apparent that this box was around, what did you think of him ripping this thing open, like, to get the idol?
Yeah.
Like, does this invalidate it? I'm like, are you
Yeah.
allowed to use this idol now? Like,
I
breaking the rules.
I completely had the exact same thought. I was like, wait a minute. The whole point is that there's a lock on this that you're supposed to find a key and open it. Like,
Right,
how
like,
is
the
it
whole-
okay
the
to
whole
just
thing is,
rip it
like,
out of the ground?
It's not just about getting an idol, it's about like aligning with someone in another tribe. So if there was never that handoff and that conversation of like, and now we are allies because we're going to share a power, like, are you allowed to have that?
Right.
Well, do you think anything like that could still come up? Do you think that like it could somehow, like, if it's, you know, attempted,
hope
you know,
so.
if there's an attempt to use it, do you
I
think
hope
that
so.
Jonathan could say like
Yeah,
this
I
was
I
supposed to be
want JLP to
acquired?
be like, sorry, you obtain this idol in an
Illegally.
illegal manner. Right?
Yeah.
Yes. So
It was
this idol
yeah.
has no power here. Like, tosses
Right,
it
like,
behind him into the bushes. It goes.
which I feel like would be a totally legitimate thing to be like, this was in a locked box. It needed to be opened by the key assigned to that box in order to activate it.
Yeah,
You
not like
can't
Hulk
rip it out of the
smash.
ground because
He used to his way through it. I was like,
Well,
okay, King.
because did you also notice too that like he didn't like rip it out of the ground and then rip the door off? Like, he ripped it out and the door came off as it came out of the sand, and it's like, clearly that wasn't supposed to be messed with in that way, because
Right.
it wasn't like,
It wasn't built
It
to do that.
yeah, this wasn't like the Fort Knox of like, you know, of like immunity idol boxes. Like, this was clearly like something that they meant for this to stay in the sand the whole time. Like,
Right. I also count that, hey, production, y'all took an L today. Okay. You should have been a little
Be
bit more
better.
prepared. Yes, people are in this to win this.
Oh,
Okay.
man.
So,
By
like,
any means necessary.
yes.
yeah.
I'm getting into that box. Tell
Oh,
that key.
man.
I don't know if Ferris talking about rip.
Oh god.
But obviously that was later in the episode. The reward challenge was fun. You know, it had 2 idols on pedestals. You kind of had to, like, you know, you attach to them by rope, blah, blah,
Oh,
blah.
yeah.
You win a kid's party. The rebels won it, you know, much to the enjoyment and complete joy of Miss Sarah, because it was her birthday.
It's her birthday party.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right.
mhm,
That's right.
mhm. And this is where Kirby continued to kind of sow some seeds of doubt on Feras and whether or not he was trustworthy. Because, like, oh, look at this smile. He's always been very cheeky, and it's like, shut up, Kirby. Like, you know, I
Yeah.
want to go back on my Twitter and I want to scrub it clean of anything I ever said in support of Kirby.
Well,
She's trying to
she's
really
doing-
piss me off.
She's doing way too much. Way
She's
too
doing
much.
I'm tired of her. I'm tired. I thought that Kirby and Feras are supposed to be the king and queen of this season, and now you're coming after him. I'm knocking you down.
Yeah.
All the pegs. No pegs left. All right. Pissed.
None.
None.
Nary
Man.
a peg.
Exactly. Nan peg. Silly. So the immunity challenge, this was a fun one to watch. You had this whole obstacle course, and you had to construct a puzzle and then knock it down. Lots going on
I
here.
really liked this
Um,
one.
Yeah, this. Oh, thanks, thank God, King approved. This is really where Garrick lost his shit with Kelly, because she was on the portion of the obstacle course where you had to use those puzzle planks to make that rope bridge,
Yes.
and like, Kelly. As much as I do love her, but I don't like when somebody doesn't own their shit. So like, Kelly, just be honest. You fucked this one up, babe. Listen, I sucked, y'all. I'm so sorry. And I think that, not that I know Garrick, right? I'm not talking about him like I know him, like we go way back.
For years.
But I almost feel like he's fair enough to say, like, you know what? All right, she knows she sucks. Let me just leave her alone.
Yeah.
You constantly saying, oh, well, we did this as a team. It's like, we did this as a team. We didn't lose this as a team, though.
Right.
You did that. This
Yeah.
Kelly.
What I do love about this competition is there are so many opportunities for like it to switch up. Like this person's like this team's ahead, now that team's ahead. There's so many times where that could have like shifted back and forth, and she was just like boop, like, out of it.
They would have absolutely won this
For
challenge
sure.
if it wasn't for Kelly. Like,
They were really far ahead at one point.
yeah, this was bad.
So
this was
far.
a really bad moment.
Especially with the whole point of them going over the thing. The Titans had a really hard time putting that bit of the ladder together, getting over that hump, and then getting those pieces back up. Like, that is where the Rebels had such a lead.
They flew through, yeah.
And totally squandered by Kelly. And it's like, I think you would have been better served if you would have just admitted, I messed up.
Fucked up.
Yes, I should have sat this one out. I'm sorry. But no. She doubled down.
Yeah, she tries to be a real go-getter, but she the problem is she doesn't really get anything accomplished.
I like it. It was a little stumbly, but we got there, and it was still fun. And it was good. It was good. I enjoyed it. Way to go. Come on. You paused because you knew you were having a rough time getting there. Yeah. Listen, I've been there. We tried to be super
Happens
cute.
to the best of us.
Yeah. And we are the best of us. So, no, it happens.
Oh my gosh.
But again, Titans win. It says, so Wikipedia says at the Rebels camp, the tribe is frustrated with Kelly's failures. Obviously, leading the charge on that was Garrick, my hero. Now, and I hate acknowledging anything good that Kirby does. But
we turned around so quickly on Kirby.
No, because I don't like that she has her sights on somebody that like I like very much.
Yeah.
But if this was anyone else, if your sights were on Alex, I would be all about this.
Right.
So it's really it's my bias. So I'm trying to be a good podcaster. Trying to be good and trying to be unbiased. But Kirby's seeing this whole thing. Everyone is so like, we gotta get Kelly out of here. And Kirby is like, do you hear yourselves? This is not someone we need to worry about. Like, stop it. She's not a threat. Let's focus on someone that is. And this is where it goes downhill for me, because now you're looking at Feras, and I don't really like that. So this is where the support for Kirby goes down, but the thought process, correct.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Right. There's nothing more to say there. We agree.
No, you're right. It's just unfortunate because we all love Feras very much, and he's honestly, he's for me like the most entertaining player on the season
by
so
far.
far. So
right. Fun to watch. I mean, well, Kelly's up there too, though, because
such a different reason. Though.
A very, very different reason. But good TV is good TV. So, like, there's no version of me that doesn't want to see Kelly on like Traders Australia or something like that. Come on, exactly. Kelly's great.
I just like, I'm already like, I've already thought about too. Like, Feras would be so good for like a Traders or something like that, like Traders Australia or something like that. Like the way that but it's just the way that like Feras has this very calm demeanor, but will say a lot in very few words, in a very calm way. It's just very interesting. And he's always got like a giant smile on. Like Ferris is a very interesting reality TV like competitor that I could
Which I
see
think could
playing
also do
multiple
him a
kinds of shows.
disservice in a game like the Traders, though, because I think people will be very intimidated by that. Like that's somebody that you really need to get out. Because whether you're a trader or a faithful, like I'm too scared of you because I can't
Too
read
much
you.
influence.
So
Yeah.
right, yeah, too much influence and I can't read you. So
Mhm.
out of here. Let's bring the mole to Australia.
Hell yeah.
That's interesting. That's interesting.
Yeah.
We're already on a tangent. We're only halfway through the week. But yeah, so that's it. Alex is obviously a freebie, doesn't really know where to be. Cuddle Alliance, obviously under fire, doesn't really, where should he be? Doesn't know. What gets interesting here, though, is that once Feras starts to hear that Kirby is now throwing his name in, obviously now we put our eyes on Rihanna. And once Kirby hears this, she's like, what? 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 How dare you? And it's like, honey, you started this. Like, wasn't nobody looking at her until you were looking at him? So, like, what did you think of Kirby's reaction to now hearing that, like, somebody's speaking back on her? Like, she should just be happy that it's not her that he's mentioning.
I think it goes back to she's just doing too much right now, all at once. Like it's just, there's this easy vote, and you're trying to get it shifted to somebody else, and then you act so surprised when you hear a different name, and it's like you said, Kyle, like it went from an easy vote to you throwing out a name, and now you get shocked that somebody else had the audacity to throw out a different name. It's like, no, like if we were all on the same page and then people start stirring the pot, you have to expect that someone else is going to say, well, why don't we do this instead then? Like everybody, they're still, these tribes are still very big. Like everybody has their own ideas. Like if everyone thinks the plan is going to be this and then somebody tries to change that plan, it stands to reason that someone else would be thinking, how can I stir the pot more also? Like,
right. And I have to say this really, as another quick aside, this really speaks to why Survivor is so much more entertaining in a 2-tribe format. Because you are truly getting 2 separate games basically happening at the same time. And there's enough people that you can have conversations. When you only have 6 and then God forbid 1 goes and there's only 5, there's only so many directions this thing can swing. But when you have this many people on one side, it makes it so interesting as a viewer to watch. And it's probably so much more fun in the game too, because some people, if you're on the wrong side of that alliance, is very, very early on. Your game is already over. What fun is that? The fun of playing the game is the hope of winning.
If you're in the 3-tribe format and there's like, like we saw it in we were just talking about Carolyn. You had like those 3 that were in an alliance together and they were always voting together. But if the tribe is only like 5 people, then those 3 are just going to pick everybody off, and there's no point in even watching these conversations.
Exactly,
because they don't
they're
matter.
not fun. It literally nothing matters, and it's like this is what makes Australians, one of the reasons why I think Australian Survivor is so much better than ours, because it's also just basic Survivor. Stop with all the extra little bells and whistles. It's not necessary. The game is great on its own. So let it just be.
We don't need the
Right. I did enjoy the twist that we did get this week, though.
Yes.
Like this little twist, because it doesn't affect the game as much as a 3-tribe format.
Right.
Like this still allows the game to be fluid. Yeah, this is really, really fun.
Yeah. The only thing that I'll say, because like I agree with you. I would prefer in the US to have a 2-tribe format, especially if we're only going to have 18 people. But even if they wanted to go back to like 24 people, like Australia, we had 2 tribes of 12 to start Titans and Rebels, 12 and 12. And I feel like even if the US Survivor was so insistent on staying at 3 tribes, like bring it up to 24 cast members then. At least then you've got 3 tribes of 8 rather than 3 tribes of 6. You add 2 players to each tribe, like that's not as bad. I would still prefer the 2 tribe method, but I just hate these small little tribes.
Why can't, if you're so insistent on doing tribes of 3, then why can't we have like 33 or 36 players?
Yeah.
Make each tribe the same. When you're playing for immunity, only one tribe gets it, and you're facing a double. So we're not extending the game. We're just like knocking people off left and right.
Yeah.
You're still getting the benefit of multiple, because that's what is so fun about this. You start to forget about the Titans completely because there's so much going on in the Rebels. And then when
So
you
then
go
by the time
back
you get
to
to
the
merge,
Titans,
it's like, oh my god, yeah.
it's like, oh my gosh, like sends me all of that. I don't know how any of this is going to work.
Like there's all subsets in each tribe, but then both tribes are going to be against each other. But then
right,
also, like,
it's the most.
random,
It is truly exciting as a viewer because you literally don't know how this is going to change. People are coming in with such strong alliances already,
right.
but there's such the hope of new ones, and it's like, does that mean this doesn't matter? Does that mean it does? It's like, oh my gosh, there's so many exciting ways for it to go. Yeah. So there. A note to production, wherever you are, if you're out there,
CBS,
please. If you insist on 3 tribes, just beef it up, and just send people home quick. That's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
But we did have a twist in this Australian Survivor. What do we have here? We had instead of
we have another
Yay!
Hi, Mark. Welcome.
Hey.
Mark.
I don't
Warnock.
know that Feras is spreading any lies. Okay. We love Feras in this house. We love Feras in this house.
I do have to tell you, like, if there were 2 players that were gonna join our chat from this cast of Australian Survivor, Mark and Feras are probably the two most
choices.
Interesting players that could join us.
I still would love Kelli to be here.
Both Team Petty.
Right. I think all the most interesting people are on
Team Petty.
are on my draft team.
I have to agree. Agree.
You know what? For the people who don't remember, oh, my computer is laggy. I want people to see.
Feras tells Mark, go find another podcast. This one's mine. I love it.
I love that too.
Yes, I love it.
Everybody on my team. All right. Feras, my king, number 1. Mark, you were a later selection, but still mine. And I have Kelli too. So the most interesting people are in my house. All right. So there is that. But so what do we have to do here? Jonathan said we're not voting people out in this tribal. Instead, you are voting for somebody to be the saboteur and go over to the Titans and sabotage their immunity challenge. If they lose immunity, the saboteur gets to return to the Rebels tribe. If they win, that person is now a bona fide Titan. So Kirby was like, oh, that's it. Feras got that key? Absolutely not. We're sending Kelli. Send Kelli. Stop playing games. Feras is dangerous. He's going to make new relationships. We don't want it. Send Kelli. And it looked like everyone agreed. So Kelli did go.
It would have been so fun to watch Feras go, though.
Oh my gosh, that would have been so much. That would have been so much fun.
Like, you want to talk about chaos? I would have had a great time.
Well, honestly, like I just wanted to see, because it's funny that both Mark and Feras have joined us tonight, because that's what I was looking forward to. Was Mark and Feras have been 2 players that I've been watching, and we saw Feras hint to Mark that, like, hey, I wasn't lying about that treasure box. Yeah, like I wasn't lying about this treasure box. Like, you should really go look for it. So I was really hoping that Feras would go over to the Titans tribe so that him and Mark could maybe try to build something. And because I've been really enjoying Mark, who has been working with Eden as this invisible hand alliance, and like, if the 3 of them linked up, that would have been like a dream. I would have loved that trio. Yeah, that trio would have been awesome.
The only reason I'm happy now that Feras didn't actually go over there for all of that to happen is because we would not have gotten that beastly Mark moment. He's like, I don't need no key. I don't need no Feras. I'm going to just rip this box open. So if he had the key, we would have lost on that. But otherwise, I completely agree. But for me, that was a season standout. I don't need no key. I don't need no key. I don't need no Feras. I'm getting in this box.
Oh my gosh.
And there was a really fun, I don't even remember what it looked like. oh shoot, I forget. You got to go on Instagram and follow the account Australian Survivor Memes. I'm telling you, the content there is
Oh,
absolutely
A
fucking
plus.
fire. Yes, like really, really fantastic. And there's a Mark meme on there about him busting into that box. I don't remember what it was, but I remember being entertained. So like good stuff over there. So
Let's
shout
see.
out to Australian Survivor Memes. Yes. So any Hoosers, Kelli goes and wakes them up. Surprise! Surprise! I'm like, oh my gosh, is this a nightmare? Like, do I need more nourishment? Like, I definitely would have panicked. Like, what is this? Like, what is going on here? So Kelli goes, and Kelli stumbled a little bit, because she made it. There was something in there that she said. I don't remember. Oh, you guys just rewatched this third episode, right? There's something in there that she said that felt like a stumble, and Eden was like, something about this doesn't sound right.
Well, so they were asking her, like, Kelli, how did you end up here? Like, why did they vote you out to send you here? And but like she kept saying, like, she should have definitely been like, I don't really know, like I thought I was good with people, but they voted me out. But then JLP told us it wasn't to vote me out of the game, it was to send me to the other tribe. Like, she should have like just played dumb like that. But like, instead she was like, oh yeah, I'm in an alliance with everybody. I'm in an alliance with heaps of people. That's what she said. She goes, everybody loves me. Like, I'm working with everybody. And they're like, well, then why would they send you here?
Yeah.
Right.
And she was like, yeah, it was a unanimous vote except for me. I voted for Raymond. And it was like, all right, so you're telling us that you're working with everybody. You're cool with everybody. You're in alliance with everybody, but they all voted to send you here.
Right.
Knowing that you wouldn't be sent out of the game, that you would be sent here.
Right.
To us. And like, if you're talking so positively about everybody, about how like, because she kept talking about like, oh yeah, I'm working with so many lovely people over there. It's like, if they all voted you out and it's a negative thing and like you're on our side now, like I feel like you wouldn't be talking about how lovely everyone is.
Right.
Like,
see, I totally agree. I do also think, though, this world, because she has definitely put herself out there as super, super kooky. I would sit there and be like, wow, she is Delulu. like clearly they
love
didn't
a
love you.
Delulu
Like,
queen.
right. Exactly. And I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, I just think she's way off base. And it actually make me think that she was way less of a threat because clearly she has no social awareness. But no, I mean, obviously your version is technically better because it's correct, right? I just would have been like, she don't know what she's talking about.
Like, oh, Kelly's crazy.
She's crazy.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing, because it is Kelli. It's very easy for anyone on the Titans tribe to be like, okay, she thinks that she's working with all these people, but they all can't stand her.
Yeah.
If anyone else would have said what she said, I'd be like, okay, nope. But specifically because it's her, I would have discounted it and like, you just don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, you're just on the outs and you don't realize it.
Poor thing.
Yeah, I probably would have dismissed it as that also.
Sorry, girl.
Sorry, baby. Still love you though. What did you think of this reward challenge? This is when they had to they were up suspended over the water and had to like lean on each other and like not touch the rope. This
sounds like a lot for a reward challenge,
right? I'm like, this ain't worth it. And what were they even playing for? What was the prize?
The toasties. The toasties.
Once I saw it, I was like, what exactly is a toasty?
The cheese toasties.
Right. And I had Googled it and I said, Australian toasties. It's not just grilled cheese, apparently, as we kind of saw like once they actually did win it, because you saw they were putting some tomatoes and some other things in there. It looks like bread and cheese is really the anchor, the true foundation of the toasty. But it looked like there was some variation that one could make, which is like, there is a world where I can get that, but I didn't see any meat. Okay.
Right.
So for
right.
this
there was
type
also
of a challenge for no meat, no bona fide protein other than cheese.
There was also coffee though. Coffee on this island might make a difference.
What did you think of that combination? A grilled cheese and coffee?
I feel like you're setting them up for failure. Like, I can't imagine if I've been on an island eating coconuts and sand for days. I don't know that my body is going to be
Coconuts and
down for a
sand.
grilled cheese and a coffee.
I think that's such a weird combo.
Well, isn't the coffee like? Isn't that also kind of like, especially living on this island? I feel like that could give you the runs.
I'm saying
Yes,
bad,
definitely give you
bad.
the trots. King
Ferris
Ferris
is
making fun
saying
of us.
coffee.
He's definitely
Yeah,
making
we're
fun of
We're
us.
from Long
we're from
Island. I'm sorry.
Long
Listen.
Island, New York.
Long Island.
Listen, I love you down, but like y'all say a lot of things mad crazy too. So don't
Leave
come
us to our
don't-
coffee.
Leave us to our coffee. Okay, because there's a lot of
Honestly,
disagreements that could be had here.
What's very funny is that I feel like the three of us actually generally don't have as thick of like a Long Island, New
actively
York
try
accent
not to.
than a lot of other people around here. But I'm sure we still have it. But like,
I agree with you, but I will say my friends in Philly, for those of you down under, that's Philadelphia, in the state of Pennsylvania. Or the Commonwealth, actually, the Commonwealth. There is a difference, apparently. But my friends in Philly are always like, you sound so New York. And I'm like, they're like, excuse me? I don't think I sound like anything. I sound authentic and perfect. I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh,
So
every
don't
time
know.
I
think
meet
it might
somebody,
actually be heavier than we think it is.
every single time that I meet somebody who didn't grow up here, I say water, water. I'm like, I literally don't say that. It's water. Like I'm not. It's
Yeah,
not that
have a
bad.
nice tall
Say
glass of water.
dog. I'm like, no.
I mean, say dog. It's dog. What else is it? What's the other option? If it's not dog, then what is it?
Don't ask me. I say it like you do.
I know I'm getting mad at you. I ran to get in the car and come find you. Dog.
Gina, can you say water again?
No, I don't want to.
Of
She
course.
didn't say it right?
I don't know. Now I'm nervous.
Oh. Water. Water.
Water.
Gina?
Kyle's is the most noticeable. Crikey.
As you're like, I don't have one that's that bad.
Damn. All right. Shoot, we got way late. So they won these toasties and coffee.
Oh, right. We're talking about Australian
We're talking
Survivor.
about coffee.
Right. Got lost there. I didn't see any sugar. I saw no creamer. All right. Like, listen, as much as I love coffee, like I need something in there to lighten that sucker up. Like, I can't just have a nice tall glass of black. Like, that's crazy to me.
Yeah, but to your point, every time that you see the charcuterie board, to your point, you want creamer that's been out in the sun on a beach for hours.
Well, in all fairness, the creamer that I'm referring to is really like that Coffee Mate International Delight. And fun fact, there's actually no dairy in those. Those are actually dairy free. I don't know what it is.
I still don't know if I'd like it in the sun.
Right. Listen, I would still prefer that over not. Like, just this sun-beaten black coffee. Not even a packet of sugar. I could, if you give me some sugar.
Sure.
Right? And listen, I'm on this stranded island. Don't fuck with me. Nobody's Splenda, Equal, Sweet and Low. Domino sugar. Okay.
Well, I was gonna say that we potentially have someone in the chat here in Ferris that was, there potentially consuming the coffee. If he is able to provide any clarity on if there was sugar
right.
or cream, but I do know that.
Very.
But
important.
I do also, yes, this is important. But I do also know that he might not know the answer to this because while everyone was drinking their coffee on the Rebels tribe, I remember Ferris and Raymond were looking for an idol.
Mm-hmm.
And Ferris did indeed find a second idol.
Did.
Oh, Ferris answers.
Wow.
Thank you, Ferris.
Okay.
There
Crisis
was
averted.
Milk and sugar.
All is right in the world.
God.
Although, is
God.
it? because as
Love
Gina pointed
Feras.
out, is this like a sun-beaten milk? Like, was this like half curdled, or was it at least like in a little fridge on ice? How was the milk delivered to you? That is very important. Whether or not this milk is
in
worth it.
Kyle's words, we like to get granular on here.
Yes, let's
So
get
what
into
are
it.
the details of the
That was
coffee?
yeah. This is so Long Island. We
That was
like to
so
get
funny.
granular about the
I just also,
coffee.
as a super quick aside, Get Granular came from one of my old regional managers. She would sit down. For although you don't know, I work at a bank, right? And she would sit down and she would say, "Listen, you are at 110% to goal. You're doing fantastic. But if we get granular, you're only at 20% for checking accounts. So what are you doing?" And it's like, excuse me, I exceeded goal. It's like, leave me alone, right? That's what Get
I'm doing
Granular.
my best.
Like, leave me alone. Doesn't matter. Leave me alone. That means I way overperformed somewhere else. So get off it. Any Hoosers. So there was milk and sugar. We're going to find out if it was on ice. Oh, and Raymond. We mentioned Raymond finding this idol with Feras. I am really, really so much more endeared to Raymond. He didn't really have like a mark on me one way or the other. I don't know. Like, now that he's starting to play, and like, I don't know, you're seeing his smile. I love the interaction he had with Charles, and he was like, "What is that shirt? Is that Untitled Goose Game?" He's like, "Yes, it is." He's like, "You like video games?" Like, "I sell them." And I was like, "That's super cute."
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, shout out to Australian Survivor memes. There was a meme about that as well. Telling you, fire content. But Raymond seems like really, really sweet, and
Mhm.
I
I'm
liked
definitely
him
more endeared towards him than I expected.
Yeah, because I think he actually is playing the game. They kind of painted him early on as somebody who didn't seem like he was tuned in,
Sure.
because it looked like he had some kind of relationship with Kelly. But when he seems so willing to be like, "Oh, we're getting rid of Kelly, awesome, fine." I was like, "Oh, you're playing for you," and it's
Yeah.
like, "All right, you're not just along for the ride." And so I'm intrigued by him. And I like that Ferris seems to have some trust in him. Um, and sneaking off with him and found the idol with him. I thought that was cute. Um,
Yeah, I agree.
Anything else on Raymond and Ferris? I don't know what I
Not
have right
yet.
there. All right. I just didn't want
I,
to move on.
honestly, Raymond has been like totally different than what I expected from the very beginning because like going into the draft, we went in like very blind when we chose our players.
Yeah.
And like just based on the photo that Raymond had like in the cast photos, and I know that what we have in the in Restream here is not that same photo, but like this is his photo. Just like that's the one that
Well,
we
I
have
think
there.
who has him? I think
I
Gina
do.
has him.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So like in this
thought-
photo, right? He almost looks to me, right?
Like a child.
Like a child, but almost like he would be like almost a bro. Like the blonde hair, he almost looks like he would be like a Ken, sort of like a douche.
Okay. Sure.
You understand what I'm saying? Like from
Yeah,
this
yeah,
from
yeah.
this specific picture, and he's nothing like I would have expected because I know we said we watched some of these people's like videos, like intro videos before we did our draft. Some of them we didn't have videos for. And when I saw him, I immediately was like, I want nothing to do with him, just based on the photo. And I'm like, he is a completely different person than I expected.
I agree.
Mhm.
And all for the better, which is like usually we're disappointed when we find out more.
Sure.
Yeah. So like it's really nice that like this is like this is an upward swing. It's nice.
Yeah.
But the immunity challenge now, this is really where things kind of got interesting, because this was the challenge that, Kelly was now tasked with sabotaging. And now we had already seen some speculation right before this. She's like, "I don't know that I really want to do this anymore. I think I like these people, blah, blah, blah." And then we get to the selection for the immunity challenge, and she chooses to sit out. And the faces on the Rebels tribe is like absolutely hysterical. It's like, "Are you kidding me?" And then like that, it was in that moment you could tell that people knew, like, wait a minute, we're gonna have to actually try now. Because they definitely looked like they came in with this air of like, okay,
Easy peasy.
Yeah. Easy day at school, right? This is an easy one. No, they're gonna have to work for this one. And they did. And they won, which also kind of proves that like Kelli is the anchor.
Yeah.
Right.
I will say, like, because she chose to sit out, does that, because Jonathan was like, oh, mission accomplished, you can go. And it's like, yeah, but did she sabotage them or did they just happen to lose? She sat out. I feel like she shouldn't have been allowed to do that.
She shouldn't have, no, she shouldn't have been allowed, but I guess how do you force her into
Enforce
it?
that, yeah.
Yeah, without
Yeah,
like kind of
Liz
blowing that twist up.
commented about Kelli. I don't know if she deserves to
Mhm.
go back to Rebels, considering she didn't actually sabotage the Titans. And I agree with that. I think this
Right.
should have
She
been a
probably should have
failure.
just forced us should have
Yeah.
forced to stay.
I really do think that like she knew full well what the mission was going in.
Yeah,
She
did.
chose to sabotage it. And to be honest, I don't think it would have been I wouldn't have minded if Jonathan was like, "Listen, Kelli, you were sent here to sabotage the Titans. They did lose, but you sat out of the
You did
competition,
had
which means
nothing to do with it.
you did not sabotage them. They lost on their own, which means that you now have to stay here, and everybody here knows that you were sent here to sabotage the team."
That's sabotaging her. No, I think there's something interesting about this. Let's imagine a world where Kelli makes it to merge. If she can go back to those original Titans, because as depending on how this season goes, a lot of times we still see a split. We're original Titans, we're original Rebels.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
we
yeah,
see
yeah.
that a lot. If she's able to go to them and it starts to come out that like she was sent there technically to sabotage and she chose to sit out, she's like, it's because I wanted to work with you today. Like, is it possible that Kelli is playing the long game?
It's
Banking on the fact
possible.
that maybe people
Yeah.
won't vote me out because like they think I'm not a threat, they don't think I'm whatever. But like, am I planting some seeds here as this person who doesn't really know what the hell is going on? Oh, I'm such a wild card, I'm such a wild card, but like I'm actually really fucking smart.
And I
And
can't
I'm
tell if she like knows what
right.
she's
It's
doing
like,
or not.
right. It could
Right,
be such
right.
an interesting way to see her.
No, it's definitely possible. I do also think there's an equal possibility that she'll get back to the Rebels and they'll be like, "You were supposed to throw it and you didn't.
You're out of
So
here.
you're out of here. Like, we gave you a chance by sending you over there to sabotage them, and then you said you were sitting out of the competition, so."
Yeah. Let's get even more granular. The
Sure.
reason why I don't think Kelly's really going to be on anything with the Rebels tribe is that like already we have seen Channel 10 investing in their social media in the Kirby v Ferris matchup.
Mhm.
So like unless Kelly just gets hit with a stray, it sounds to me like this is where the Rebels are headed. Like
Yeah,
now
but
we
they
do
might
have
not
this
be
swap coming.
immediately
We have a
headed
swap
there.
coming. Right.
Right. Like, that's the thing. Like, if
There's a
they're gonna
lot.
build up a Ferris and Kirby matchup, I would really hope it wasn't over in a week. And
Because we
one
had the
of
same kind of thing with
Mhm,
George
mhm.
and who was it in Heroes and Villains?
Haley.
Haley, yeah. That like that. I feel like
Yeah.
they were building up to that. Like they were the cover art of the season.
Right.
They were building up that one for a while.
Yes, I've
I
already
just I,
seen that this is
yeah.
supposed to be the new, epic rivalry. I think we're
Mhm.
going to see these two going a little bit further than that. So Kelly could get hit with a stray,
Yeah, I don't see
depending on
that
how this
coming to
swap
fruition
goes.
immediately.
Right,
Right.
because yeah, exactly. Because I feel like
Mm,
if you're gonna
mm,
build this up, it's not gonna be over in a week, which
right.
means
We didn't pay that
Ferris
person
and
extra money to
Kirby.
stay late and making that graphic just for them to go out in a week.
Right, like this Ferris and Kirby thing could be building up. Maybe Kelly gets taken out along the way, and it goes on for a couple of weeks or 3 weeks.
This is so funny. Yes, thank you. Unless they end up like Simon and George, could you imagine? But even Simon did go kind of far. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think he didn't quite make it to merge though, did he? Did he? Maybe he
Simon,
did.
Oh
he did.
God.
No, he was
No,
he
he
was
did
in
because he
merge.
voted.
Yeah,
Yeah, because he voted
yeah,
in
he
the
was there.
jury.
He
Yeah,
was there. Yeah.
Despite the cookie idol,
the cookie idol.
he made it to merge.
No, well,
Right.
Simon was one of those people that we were talking very highly of towards the end because
Oh,
he was on the
absolutely. Because the
chopping
way he
block for
navigated his
so
Oh
long,
yeah. No,
yeah,
he
so
the way he got
long.
socially
out of stuff
nailed
was
that. Yeah.
really, honestly, super iconic. Yeah.
Yeah.
Why is your Survivor so much better?
Yeah.
So that's it. No, it's not. So Kelli, is now reflecting on her decision to sit out of that immunity challenge. Again, reiterating she likes her new tribe mates. She didn't want to sabotage them, blah, blah. This is where sweet Caroline, thank you. That's so y'all failed me. She started to work to get some votes to get rid of Nathan. She's been very peeved about how much he eats. And she's basically saying there'd be a whole lot more rice if this man was on ice.
You felt the immediate joy that you felt after making that joke.
I was so excited.
You were so
excited.
proud of yourself.
Yes, I know. Thank you. Thank you for supporting my stupid.
Oh my god.
So she really wants to make sure she gets rid of Nathan. And they kind of come with this plan to split the vote onto Jaden, just in case there's an idol in play. I really liked this plan. I love it when an alpha male goes home. But here came Mark with his nonsense. And he's like, hey, let's get rid of Caroline. I'm like, why are we doing this? I didn't agree with any of this. Like, I understand that unless you're really hungry, Mark, let's just starve and you're tired of her rationing the rice too. Like, I would understand that. But like, she ain't anybody to worry about right now. Like, what is Caroline winning? I mean, she's very sweet, but like, you can get her later. If you have an opportunity to get Nathan where he's not thinking that he's in any kind of danger at all, with the kind of influence we already kind of seen that it looks like he has, like, this is great. It felt more to me like Mark was just trying to control something and he wanted to feel like he was still in control and just wanted to switch things up. And it's like, this is not the time to play games, even though you're playing a game.
Not that kind of game.
Yeah, like easy. Doing too much too fast, don't pull a Kirby.
Quit playing games with my heart. Right?
My heart. My heart. Well, way off the rails. So that was that. And so obviously Mark, went to the 2Vs to kind of get that going. And apparently Viola is the one that informed in the water there, informed Winna and Jaden of this whole plan. And they agreed. Now they were a little suspicious, but I was surprised that like Jaden was so on board so quickly. It's like, hey, easy. Why is it you're already ready to get rid of your guy? Y'all just started playing. Like,
Yeah.
I saw no reason that he would have to not be trusting Nathan. This is somebody you would want to go a little bit further with because, like, who at this point could he possibly trust more than Nathan? I mean, maybe Winna,
Right.
but
Right.
this is not quite the time to be cutting people like that.
The whole Nathan thing did feel kind of like out of left field for me. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's all I had to
Yeah.
say.
No, it's been interesting. No, it has been interesting. Like both tribes been cutting like strong players early.
And so quick to turn on the person that you were saying you were trusting. Like so much seemed to be set up around like Nathan and Jaden, and then like Winna being like that third that would probably be the more expendable in their eyes. Like it looked like he was that kind of ancillary third, but like it just felt too soon to be like, oh, we're doing Nathan? Oh, all right.
Sure.
Yeah, like what? Like it's that simple? Like, yeah, it was that felt strange to me. But yeah, so right at the beginning of Tribal now is when Jonathan said, hey, Kelli, you're good. You're out of here. Which I felt like changed a lot in that moment. And I was a little surprised that it didn't even carry on through some of the Tribal. Like I would have preferred like a Kelli exit right before the vote.
Right.
Let her participate in the Tribal. Let people think, oh yeah, maybe we're steering some things on Kelli, maybe not. And it's like, oh, actually she's leaving. Conversation's over. Time to vote. Come on. Like the fireworks.
Yeah.
Right? It changes everything.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. It was a little climactic to be like,
yeah,
everyone come in and sit down. Kelli, you completed your mission, even though you really didn't, because you
Right, 'cause you
chose to
sat
sit
out.
out.
Right.
Right.
Yeah,
Failed
it was
quiz.
just kind of like, I feel like even the Titans, tribe wasn't like, what? Oh my God, Kelli fooled us. Like they were all just kind of like, all right, bye.
Whatever.
What do you mean?
Right. There are bigger fish to fry anyway.
Yeah.
But at least it would have been, she could have been a fun person in tribal to possibly unfold, to like put votes on
Mm-hmm.
if we felt the conversation going a certain way. It would have been so much more fun a shade later. But this ended with Nathan going. I don't think there's anything else really super
Yeah.
noteworthy in there.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
I just,
I think that was really it.
I'd love to get more content, because it was funny, because the last, we had seen Mark pushing to try to vote Caroline out instead of Nathan. And like one of the last things that we heard him say before they went to tribal council was like, I just don't know if I can trust the big boys, assuming that means Nathan, Winna, Jaden. He was like, I'd love to pull off this move. I just don't know if I can trust these guys. And then we got to tribal. And, only one person, it was only Nathan that voted for Caroline. Both Jaden and Winna did not vote for Caroline. So I'm just wondering, like, I would love to see if there was any other context where like Winna and Jaden decided we can't go through with this plan, because it felt like they were super on board to save Nathan once Viola brought that plan up to them. So I'm wondering like what other conversations were had, because like if Mark's only holdup was that, Winna, Jaden, and Nathan wouldn't vote Caroline out, but clearly Nathan was up to do that. Like I'm just wondering why Jaden and Winna wouldn't have gone through with it. Like what other conversations were had? Like what made Mark not want to go through with the plan anymore? You know what I mean? Like
Right. It felt like an abrupt end to a plan that maybe had some legs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The other thing about tribal that I also kind of left out, there was a fun moment where Jaden was like, I don't know what to do. What is the plan? What is the plan?
Oh, yes.
And Kitty was like, you know what the plan is. Stop it.
Jonathan was like,
whoa!
because she was like, stick to the plan. And Jonathan was like, he doesn't know what the plan is. And she was like, yes, he does. Oh God, I'm sorry. So sorry.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love that from her. And now I'm excited to see more Kitty. That was really, really fun. That was really fun. Oops. No, that's not what I wanted.
Oh.
I wanted this. Oh, we're being blocked. But Gina has Kitty.
I showed
Get out of
you.
here. Thanks. Yeah.
Kitty and Gina. Caroline.
Yeah. Got half the middle-aged mafia right there.
Hell yeah.
Damn. So you took a hit this week, right? You took a hit by way of Nathan.
Yeah.
We're so sorry for Team Regina. We're so sorry. John took a hit this week as well, losing Tobias. All right. So John is down 3 on his draft. All right.
However, Team
Petty makes it through week 2, full 6 episodes, completely unscathed.
Breaking the curse of being the first person to draft and losing your entire team.
Yes. Strat Chat history does state that whoever picks first takes the most hits first. But not this time. So many
unscathed
thanks to Feras, Viola, Kelli, Valeria, Alex, Charles, Garrick, and Mark for making Team Petty so successful.
So yeah, you're definitely looking good.
Yeah, it does mean I'm the most vulnerable next week, because I do have the most people. So my mass is a little bit more expansive.
I will say I am glad, because week 1, I did not like the fact that we lost. It was Frankie, Jessica, right? Jessica, and then Peta. I didn't love that we lost 3 women in the first week, but it's made me feel a little bit better that we lost Tobias
Two
and
dude
Nathan
bros
this
back to
week
back.
to kind of even it out. Because if we had lost like a fourth and fifth women, fourth and fifth woman this week, I would have been like, okay, there's 24 people there. The first 4 or 5 people out are women. Like, come on, let's change
That's a
this
good
up.
observation. I didn't notice that. Yeah.
Yeah, it was weird to me that we
I
lost
agree.
3 women week 1. I didn't like that.
I didn't like it either, but I wouldn't have had the PETA one go any other way. The way that she was carrying herself, I have an idol. I'm so super safe. What are you doing? I don't need nothing. Oh, I hear my closest person in here basically saying I should play this idol. I'm so fine. I love an overconfident person who gets burned. That's always my favorite. So just the way that she was carrying herself. This is also why when Toby with all this, I was like, I was totally fine with you being out next. Like, stop it.
It's L for love.
Love. Stop it. No, you know better.
Yes, you know better.
No, you know better. So that's it, right?
Yeah.
That's it. Oh, except so the next on Sunday, now we know there's some kind of a tribe swap going on. So it's not really a merge, but everybody's repicking buffs. So that's going to be interesting to kind of see how some of this stuff. Yeah, I like this. This is a fun one. It just blows everything wide open. And it's truly random. It's not like you can't really think, oh, production manipulated this somehow. It's like yeah, and that's what I like about it. It can't be questioned. It's totally
and I feel like
genuine.
it's more people spread out amongst 2 tribes too, which makes it feel like it's more legit than like even we did have a tribe swap in Survivor 45, like which was exciting, but this feels like a more legit swap.
Right. At an exciting time, because there's exciting things happening on both sides. Like it'll be interesting to see if the 2 Vs get separated. That'll be interesting to watch because it doesn't really look like they were, other than Mark, they didn't look like they were super interested in really having relationships with anyone else.
Yeah.
So that'll be interesting to see if they're split early. What do Mark and Eden do? Feras and Garrick? Who do we want to see on the same tribe? Whoever keeps you the safest. But who do we want to see on the same tribe? That's interesting.
Yeah.
I don't want to see Feras and Kirby on the same tribe.
Agreed.
Yet. I also find it even more interesting if you have a situation where, like Kirby has some kind of a stronghold on whatever her side is, and Feras has a stronghold here, and they're both convincing everyone else that the other person is the biggest threat.
Yeah.
And then you really have quite an epic war on your hands. And I think both of them have the social influence, like the prowess in it to actually kind of do that. So definitely would love to see them separate. And for that, then I guess I would want Garrick on Feras' side. I would like to see Rihanna on
Kirby.
On Kirby's side, just to make sure that maybe we can get that scenario.
Yeah.
Right? I would like to see Mark and Eden separated. Because I think that I just want to see Eden make because I want to see Eden later. So I want to see Eden making good. I think he's going to be so good at befriending people. He did enough with Mark. Leave Mark alone. You can get a new
leave Mark alone.
Yeah, we'll leave him alone because if they both make it to merge, they definitely will link back up. But Eden will also have an opportunity now to have a new number 2.
Right.
And that just insulates him a little bit further going in there. So I would like to see them separated so Mark can go focus on some other people. I don't want Mark to draw his focus. I guess that's it. I think it just could be interesting. I'm endeared towards the possibility of a Raymond and Charles best friendship. So it'd be nice to see them on the same team because it looks like we definitely made a connection over Untitled Goose Game. and I thought that was cute and endearing. I would love to see a real romance come from that. Other than that, not passionate.
Yeah, no, like the big thing for me is, again, what you said. I would like to see Feras and Kirby separated.
Mm-hmm.
But aside from that, I don't have like super strong, and I don't want to see the two V's get separated. I want them to stay together.
Well, actually, that was something that I was just going to ask. I actually think it could be interesting to see the V's separated and then come back together at merge.
I do think it could be interesting. I'm scared for them.
Yeah, I
I'm
don't want
scared
it.
that yeah, they don't. It could be interesting. It just
I don't know. I think it could actually work well for them to be separated. Because I feel like if they both survive in their tribe this whole time and then make it to a merge, they're immediately targeted as a duo, I feel like. Whereas if they get split up, maybe they can make connections that could benefit both of them in the future. And Ferris says, evil giggling watching this.
Uh-oh.
It makes me even more excited.
Must be nice to have all the information.
Right. Yeah, I like both versions of the two V's being separated. I think it'd be fun if they were separated. I think it could be fun if they stayed together too. Because I also think that they can put up physically enough. Well, maybe not. I don't know. It's like, because even if they were were literally up against the wall, like I feel like they would work well together. And they're not these people who can't win challenges and things, but I don't know. I mean, they're both on the Titans, and I mean, it's not like they have some flawless challenge record. So like, stop acting like they're such super performers. Like, for what? Based on what? So I don't know. Who knows? Maybe they're not the super team.
How quickly you have turned around.
This is what happens even when I talk Big Brother UK. Liz will tell you. I just sit there just contradicting myself back and forth.
Like you talk long enough, you can make yourself believe anything.
Right, exactly. Because I'm like, both sides are valid. Like, there's a world of both.
You love to play devil's advocate.
To myself. Like, well, Kyle, if you said that, then I don't know. It's very stupid. But, all right. Is that it for Australian Survivor?
I think that's all I have.
Yeah, I feel satisfied. So what's next? Monday, The Traitors, 7 p.m. We're sticking. John's still thinking. You're satisfied?
No, that's it. No, I have nothing else.
All right. And then what do we have next Thursday? Next Thursday is the Challenge 39 at 8 p.m. We're almost winding down. We think 2 episodes left. So this will be the finale eve. And then we're back, obviously, with Australian Survivor at 10:15.
Love you, Ferris.
Thanks so much, Ferris. Thanks for hanging out again. So much
Ferris.
Love for you. Obviously, we stand.
We love you, Ferris. We love you, Ferris. We love you.
And yeah, that's it. I think we're out of here, right?
Yeah.
Big Brother Canada is back at the beginning of March. So get ready for that. Another schedule shift. Well, the Traitors US should be done by then. We can move some things around. Because we're definitely doing Big Brother Canada. Non-negotiable. Love living in Survivor Land, but boy, oh boy, I miss Big Brother. So I'm super excited about that. And consider me chuffed. We'll be back for Celebrity Big Brother UK. Amazing. I'm building out my work schedule to make sure I'll be watching live at 4:00, and I will just put it in the calendar so people can't put things online. So we are committed. And there it is. It's official. I said it. I can't take it back. Thanks for hanging out with us. You can find us on the socials at Strat Chat Pod. We're also on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and all the likes. So, share the likes with us. Toss us subscriptions. Leave us reviews. John says it's important. So John said it. It must be true. Thanks a lot. We're out of here.